Okay, we are live. We are back. One Piece chapter 1079. I'm here with my guy, Sai. What's poppin', bro?
Oh, just popping bottles on camera. It's late night where we're drinking a lot, and we have a hell of a chapter in front of us, too.
It's one of those.
It's one of those
chapters.
That's the way to put it.
You know what? What's interesting is that we have completely different approaches to the chapter. So I'm a bit curious, right? Because on Sunday nights, Mondays, if the chapter is worth it, I get a bunch of DMs. Right?
All
I get
spoilers.
a bunch of DMs. Right? I get a bunch of DMs and people are like, yo, Brago.
A bunch of people I gotta
stay
block.
off the internet.
You know how
right?
it is.
Stay off the internet. Mute what you can because it's one of those chapters you do not want to be spoiled by. For you, I presume Sundays and Mondays is a bit different.
Dude, you will not believe the amount of people who messaged me and said, yo, you covered fake spoilers. Those are fake. This isn't happening. The leakers have an agenda.
For this week?
Yeah. So it doesn't usually happen because the leakers haven't lied in like 5 months, but people still remember when they used to lie every week. And they carry it over. So whenever there's a chapter that's just so unbelievable, so hype, that they just can't fathom it, they're like, yo, these are fake. These have to be fake. Especially with Kid being one-tapped. I'm not going to lie. I didn't think that was going to happen. I didn't think Kid was going to get one-tapped. So people were like, yo, like, no way.
It was in the realm of possibility, but what we were discussing was, does Kid even make it to Shanks based on everybody he had to go up against? You know what I mean? And so
he didn't even run the gauntlet, to be honest.
You know, he didn't have to. All right,
we're skipping.
We're good.
We're skipping.
We're skipping around, right? We're skipping around a little bit. So let's do this the right way.
The old-fashioned way.
Start chapter 1079. It's not a cover story. Is the cover story over, you think, or is it just like?
I think it's over.
I think it's over.
I mean, we have a really cool one right here. We have Luffy like watering a lion, right?
Yeah, he thinks it's a sunflower.
It's dope.
Luffy's an idiot.
He's an idiot, but he's a lovable idiot.
True. It's like
it's
Luffy.
Interesting because there might be some symbolism here. There might not be. But either way, this is the 1-year anniversary of Sun God Nika.
Ooh,
yeah.
It is.
It is the 1-year anniversary.
Bro, that'd be an amazing video to make. This time 1 year ago.
Yeah, I mean, like this is a hell of a chapter to follow up a 1-year anniversary.
Oh my God, like a documentary about that time in the community.
Somebody's got to do it, right? Like, by the time One Piece is over, somebody has to make a documentary about the series.
Yeah.
You got to include this.
100%. 100%. Because it's so crazy when it's a hype chapter, how much it kind of takes over everything, right? Of course, we're tapped in and we follow a bunch of One Piece accounts and shit, but like, I'm talking about going on Twitter after reading the chapter, it's just 1079. I'm like, how do people like not read the chapters when they come out?
Oh yeah,
and still be on Twitter? I guess they're not on Twitter.
They gotta block the word One Piece, block the word Luffy, block the word Shanks. Like, come on,
you gotta block like everything because it's everybody's talk. And even there are people that put 1079 spoiler before they talk about it, and there are people that put it after they talk about it, right? So it's just like you never know what to expect sometimes with like with Twitter and internet when the hype chapter is out, at least. And then of course when it's a hype chapter, there are multiple people that typically don't even normally cover the series. They're talking about it.
Oh yeah.
So you normally don't block.
I got
them
a phone call from my mom, and she was like, son, Shanks is on screen. It's been 25 years.
Hey, it's even bleeding into our family. That's how crazy it is, right? This is what a Shanks chapter does.
I got a phone call from jail, and it was my uncle saying, I heard Shanks was out. Is it happening?
Same thing happened with mine when Green Bull happened. So it was just like, it was insane, right? So Shanks, okay. Is Shanks the character in One Piece now where if he does something, it just explodes? What other character is there in One Piece that does that?
There is the only other character minus Shanks is Luffy.
Luffy, what about Zoro?
Zoro too. I'd say Zoro is very close to Luffy. You know what? They're the same person. They share the same amount of hype. If something happens to Luffy, Shanks, something happens to Zoro.
I think Rayleigh used to be
Rayleigh
there.
Used
He's
to
not
be.
Ever anymore.
Ever since he said that Blackbeard would beat him, people like dropped him like a used toy. It's sad to see. I still love Rayleigh. You know?
What about if Akainu does something?
Oh, I don't know, man. People don't like Akainu's character. You know?
Yeah.
I like Akainu. I think he's on the side of justice.
Yeah, of course, justice. Yeah,
justice.
we're gonna trick you and have you stab your father and all. Yeah,
you know how
justice. Yeah, and the civilian that's running away because he's scared. Hey man,
you got to beat him up. Give him the 6ix9ine treatment.
You gotta go. Hey man, shouldn't have been alone. You know what I mean? All right, One Piece chapter 1079. Oda actually gives us a bit of behind the scenes with York-chan, right?
York.
Because first off, I think the viewers, a lot of the readers, it's not that we thought York was dumb. We just thought that she didn't have any purpose and that she didn't care about anything other than the stuff that, she was designed for.
She was stuffing the meat in her mouth, so to say.
Pretty much, right?
Yeah.
And even while she's having this conversation with these guys, she's stuffing meat in her face and she's breaking down scenarios of what to do, how to do it, how to get away with it. And it's just like, yo, she's a Vegapunk.
She thought it
like
through.
she's a path of Vegapunk. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like, what did you think about when you were going through this section? Because again, your experience is different. So like from the spoilers to the chapter, what were you thinking going through it?
So my thoughts always revolve around the community. And the community somehow still did not think York was the traitor. I don't know if you play a role in the community and you see what people post theories about, but a lot of people are like, yo, like York isn't it. Like this isn't York, it's a hologram. And
I think people are looking at the size of the gun as well.
Yeah, the size of the gun was another thing too, but I'm like, yo, like it's One Piece. If you try to put too much logic behind it, it all falls apart. Yeah. So we just have to accept York is the traitor. The gun somehow produced a bullet that shot Shaka and didn't explode his head. It is what it is. The one thing to me that's weird about this is that somehow she still has a contingency plan to where she ends up becoming a celestial dragon at the end of the day. I don't know how that's possible. Maybe it involves, not killing Stella, not killing the hostages, but it's just baffling how we get from point A to point B. It still doesn't click in my head, but if York is confident, if the world's smartest brain is confident, I'm confident.
Here's the thing with York that's interesting because
the butt cheeks,
obviously, right? But I think there's the fact that she believed that she had a chance at becoming a celestial dragon when the celestial dragons, they don't even like other celestial dragons, right?
Yeah.
Like after Doflamingo left, right? He came back like, nah, guys, I like you guys. I want to live with you.
Kill my dad.
There's like, no. You can't come back. So I think for York, and here's the thing, in the chapter she says they're coming to kill me too, right? So
she's expendable,
like, right? So it's like, what was your plan at the end of it? Who
knows, man?
She's gonna try like have like a bargaining chip and to like a peace offering, saying, "Hey, look at what I can do.
Yeah, here's
look
the
at what
olive
I
branch.
did."
It's literally just Stella.
Right. Yeah, look at what I did to make things much easier for you guys. I really think I can offer something of value as a celestial dragon. But again, based off of how she was going about things here, in my mind, I feel like no matter what, she would always want more.
Oh yeah,
like, she's just programmed to be that way. I mean, that's like her makeup.
Once she becomes a celestial dragon, she'll probably look at the empty throne and say, "Hey, I want that.
Hey,
I want to sit on that throne."
She's gonna look at a girl and say, like, "So Jay,
when are you gonna retire?
Can we make it 6 Elder Stars? You know what I mean?
Like, can it be the Rokusei? Like, what's up?
Yeah, it's gonna keep going." And so, I wouldn't trust her. You know what I mean? But I did like how she orchestrated everything, how behind the scenes she kind of made it happen.
It's a cool mystery.
Oda showed us right in front of our faces. I understand people saying that it couldn't be York because of how much she was getting done. And there was a part of me that was skeptical. I thought she had at least a companion or companions because of how much she was doing. But it seemed like it was just a seraphim she was using, right? She was commanding them from the jump. But for her to have them all by themselves, when did this happen?
Yeah, it's foul play, dude. Come on.
When did this happen? Like all of them by herself?
All the seraphims together when Sanji and Zoro were out here trying to save Stussy and CP0 or whatever. And, sure, we went up to the control center and we left the seraphims behind, but nobody noticed the York coming outside to say hello to them. and think that's a little bit strange. It's kind of baffling, but you know what? Like I said,
you know what it is?
One Piece,
York.
It's cool.
She's the one that nobody really cares about, right?
Yeah.
And then we also have to address the uploading stuff. Like, how was she able to get around that for so long? Because was she not uploading? Was she not downloading? Or because all she does is,
eat and sleep.
Sleep, right? It's like, do they care about if she uploads? Like, all right, like York doesn't have anything of value to offer. We don't care about it,
like imagine, I love Gordon Ramsay, but I don't watch all of his uploads on YouTube. Blasphemous to say, like his uploads are cool, but I don't always look at them. It must be the same for York. It's got to be.
Yeah, so she's just uploading like actual important stuff, and they're like, it's just her taking the shit again.
And then it's just like Gordon Ramsay saves the world or something.
and you missed it. Unfortunate. I like in this chapter as well, like every time you see Sentomaru, it's like things it seems like getting worse and worse for him. Like he's just constantly regretting his decision more and more.
Sentomaru's huffing and puffing like, oh God, like dude, everything's going wrong.
And like the good cop actually helps out the bad guys, and it's just like, I should never have helped these guys. You know what I mean?
Like Vegapunk guilt trip Sentomaru here. That's so funny to me.
It's in his nature, man.
It works,
it's in his nature. It definitely worked because he's like, man. I mean, it's not like I didn't help you and save your life. I picked you up from the street. You had no family. Come on. Sentomaru had to do it. He's like, shit. All right, man. Like, what do you need? So basically, that was like entirety of the part with Egghead. They're just trying to escape. The backstory with York. Then we get Elbaf.
Is that the saber of Zebek I see outside?
Oh. Before that,
what's up?
You're right. Before we get to Elbaf, there's a little ship, right? Now, is this the main? I don't think this is the main.
I don't think it's the main. There's no way this is actually Marshall D. Teach.
No way. No way. Because it presents too many problems. Because if Teach is there, Teach wants everything. And if Teach is there, I don't think no one can actually stop Teach there. But people are going to say the Straw Hats, but I don't think
this isn't. I don't think this is where we fight Teach. It
just doesn't make sense for them to fight here, right?
Yeah, it's too soon.
He has to fight Shanks first. And so this is like a mini ship. So, we've seen people traversing by themselves before, and the person that we've seen do it is actually part of Blackbeard's crew, Aokiji. So it could be him going to Egghead, right?
Yeah, I agree.
But we haven't seen Lafitte in a while.
Haven't seen Shiryu.
We haven't seen Shiryu in a while.
San Juan Wolf, another one. Nobody cares about him,
right?
But I remember you, big boy.
This could be the infiltration crew, right?
Yeah.
And the thing is, if it's a giant fleet coming and you send San Juan Wolf, it makes a lot of sense where it's like, hey, he's just here to wreak havoc and collect some of the spoils. Because it makes a lot of sense for Blackbeard to go to Egghead or send someone there because, hey, man, they're cleaning house. Let's go and see what we can collect from the best mind in the
Seraphim.
world.
Let's steal the best mind. Let's steal green blood. Let's steal artificial Delphins.
Let's get something.
Anything
Leave
here.
with something.
Anything.
You know what I'm saying?
They could steal a civilian, and it would be beneficial.
But what I love about this is that I don't think Oda's been in his bag like this consistently since Sabaody. Like the stretch of chapters, I don't think there's a stretch of One Piece that's better than
20 chapters, bro.
It's insane. But like Oda was in his bag from Sabaody, Amazon Lily, Impel Down, Marineford. Like it's just peak, right?
Yeah.
You can say Amazon Lily's like a down period, but like
it was world building.
Setup and build up. It was important. And I think for Egghead, chapter by chapter has been important. But right now, where we are, right, coming off this break, no matter where Oda goes, it's going to be interesting.
It's going to be a W. Like
it's going to be interesting.
Oda's like looking at his bank account and he's like, "Yo, like this is going up. It's in the green."
He's like, "Man, like we're in Egghead. There's a couple Blackbeard pirates, I presume, on the way, right? We can go back to where Shanks is, right? We can go to where Law is, presuming that Law is still around." Maybe we give you a Garp update, right? There's so many things Oda could give to us, and then he's given us more information on the back end based on what Shanks said about Blackbeard, and could be the reason why we saw Shanks pull up for promo in Wano. You know what I mean?
love that.
So
it gives it actual meaning minus promo.
Exactly. It was like, oh, well, I thought Blackbeard would be here. I'm like, I'll take it.
All right, sure.
I'll take
sure.
it. I'll
Dude,
take it.
I can't believe
at least you're just trying to justify it.
That, regardless of if this is Marshall D. Teach or Shiryu, Lafitte, whoever, I think it's blasphemous that these 3 logs taped together and put on a sail made it here before 100 Marine ships and Kizaru that planned this before. Like, it's a meme. It's such a meme. But holy crap, they're nowhere in sight.
The proximity of Elbaf to Hashinosu and Egghead, it's actually insanity when you think about where everything is.
Yes, because it takes days to get there.
It takes days to get there, but like for the most part, everybody's in the same vicinity.
Yeah,
like we talk about the New World, and how I've always pictured the New World is like the Yonko were in 4 corners, right? They had their own corners of the New World. The only person that's more so out of the way is Big Mom, which makes sense because they say no one really bothers her.
Nobody cares for Big Mom.
Right? Sphinx is right there. Elbaf is right there. Hachinosu is right there. So I'm like, this entire time, like the Yonko were this close to each other. Like, so for instance, we're Whitebeard. Like, I would presume Whitebeard was mostly like around Sphinx, right?
Yeah.
That's where he kind of traversed and chilled. And then Blackbeard, of course, Blackbeard didn't have territory, but Shanks was around Elbaf, I'm assuming, like around there, right? And so it comes down to why didn't they meet more?
Yeah, you would imagine that one bad tailwind would bring you to Yonko territory.
And then for Kaido as well, with Wano being, somewhat just directly, I guess it's somewhat close to it as well. For Kaido, why didn't Kaido pull up to Egghead before?
Dude, every day that goes by, every chapter that we get, the little scene where King and Kaido were talking about, are you Joy Boy? And it's like, oh, Joy Boy is going to be the guy that beats me. And he's like, oh, yeah, Joy Boy, he won't exist then. It's like, bro, like there's so many people. You could literally walk 2 miles to the left and run into another emperor if you wanted to.
There's a lot of people that you could go and challenge to solidify that claim. But they did say that Kaido did get captured, and he has done all that.
He lost a couple times, but it was mainly
lost
for
a couple
food.
times. Yeah, they didn't imply that. But something I was talking to the guys about yesterday as well was like, do we think we need, at some point, even at the end of the story, Oda gives us like some of the things that pirates have done, like at least the top tier pirates, like how did Marco get his bounty? You know what I mean? Like a bounty calculator. Like, this is what Marco did. His bounty was this, then it was that. I mean, it does seem a bit tedious because then Oda has to kind of add stories to every single character, and they have to match up with everything else that's going on in the world, right? But what happens a lot is we see these like top tier characters for the most part, like Marco, and he's like, oh, King.
I've never seen you before.
Never met King before.
I heard a story about Lunari. Would you be one, perhaps?
And so I'm like, has Katakuri ever met Marco? Right? Katakuri, has he ever met King? It's just really interesting.
I hope he does do that.
This is in Film Red, so it's not canon. They even came out and said that a lot of the moves they used in Film Red weren't canon because they're trying to save things.
Yeah.
In Film Red, Shanks was like, oh, the son of Big Mom is here. Which makes sense because
he has the intel. I feel like that's plausible.
That was cool as well in this chapter.
Yes,
where like they just tossed him the intel, like, yo, this is what we got on Kid.
This
which
is Kid.
Very
this is Blackbeard. Yo,
you know what I mean?
Hongo's the merchant, bro.
We always assume like you get on the seas and you have no idea what like some of these guys can do. Shanks, he's done his research. Like he knows who he's dealing with when he meets them.
This is a thing that we've seen before, right? Like Big Mom mentioned that, hey, a Yonko's power isn't just strength alone, it's intel.
Yeah.
We know things.
Yeah.
Even Kaido knew a lot of things too, despite being only in Wano. Like these guys I wouldn't say smart, but they get the newspaper.
I do wish that played a part a bit more in real time, like in regards to intel. For instance, when Luffy pulled up to Whole Cake Island, Big Mom, it was somewhat insinuated that she was like
She kind of knew.
Underworld boss, right? She like had, like, even with Jiggler when he pulled up, they were like, yeah, we know about what you did, da 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 da. It would be great if like Luffy pulled up, right? And then Luffy's about to fight Kraken, and Kraken's like, I know all about that. Like, big, you know what I mean? Like,
I've heard about Gear 2nd and Gear 3rd.
Come on, I know about Gear 4th. We were debriefed because Cracker, they did say Cracker was sent because Luffy beat Doflamingo, I believe, right? I believe that was stated. So at this point, I wish intel was used more in the story, like in this chapter, where maybe it's going to be used more going forward, where Oda is going to be like, well, this character knows about this guy and knows about this guy. And like, it's not as, oh, he caught me off guard because I had no idea what his ability was. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like, at this point, people should know that Luffy, I wouldn't say is the sun god, but has something to him, right? His bounty poster is literally Gear 5th, so he's kind of doxing himself in a way.
Yeah. I mean, it should be somewhat clear. Well, I guess it depends, right? Because for most people, if they see Luffy, they're like, oh, he's just rubber. Right?
Yeah,
but then he can transform
rubber,
into
he
this
has
thing.
Fire, you know, it's
right. He can transform. It's like, yeah, it's if I'm Hongo, right, or if I'm like Hongo's subordinate, and they send me out to to figure out, hey, I want to get some information on Straw Hat, and I see Luffy fighting. I'm like, well, he's rubber. Wait, what? Okay, there's
what is he doing?
Steam coming off of him now. Oh, he just used fire.
Oh, okay, wait, okay. He pulled the ground up and deflected an attack. Interesting.
He just turned pale white. Oh, wait, now he's turned into twice his size and he's fat. Oh, now he's skinny.
Now he's eating the ground. All right, cool.
You literally, you're in such a place where it's just like, all you can, all right, he's rubber. Just know he can stretch. He can stretch and he hits very, very hard, right?
Yeah,
and so
I just give up.
That's the main thing. That's the main thing.
Hey, Hongo,
you can really
here's
say.
my resignation.
Yeah, I don't know what you want from me, Hongo. Like, that's all I got.
That's all I got, dude. Come on.
But I really do like that in the story. But now we get to Elbaf, right? And we see, I was trying to think, like, if we've ever seen these guys before. Padded Toe, Gerotini, Grave Tooth, Fugar, and Panicky Pururu. For whatever reason, I really like. I love Pururu.
Really?
Like, I don't know.
Out of all of them? Dude,
yeah, I
what
just
about
like her name.
Padded Toe?
I like her. Pururu. I just like her name, bro. It's just so. It just rolls off your tongue, you know what I mean? Like, Panicky Pururu.
The best part is that, so TCB OP scans, same thing, more or less. But on OP scans, they translate Gerotini as ball fingers.
Yeah, ball fingers. Like, yo, I remember when I was reacting to it, I was like,
ball
that's
fingers,
an interesting
Gerotini.
development.
Oh, man. Yo, these characters are done dirty.
I loved it.
I like to imagine Oda was cracking up laughing at these guys.
I think Oda just like just make it like you know what this reminds me of in Wano when we saw smile users, right? And we saw Fortrix, right? And we saw all these. We're like,
Fortrix,
wait, what?
Batman, all these goobers.
I was like, what is going on?
Who
we can
are
tell
these
Oda's
guys?
just having a good time, right? And for this, I'm sure Oda. I would not be surprised if these people are like inspired by people that work with Oda, right?
I would hate to be that person. Imagine being the person inspired by Grave Tooth Fugar.
Like his oldest advisor, right? And he's like, yo.
Like, oh, thank you, Oda, for putting me in the manga.
Right, and you have like an assistant, right? And it's like, because she's always panicking, it's like, oh, panicking Pururu. It's like, come on, bro. Like that's my claim to fame. It's like,
yo,
hey, man,
leave me out of the manga. Erase me.
But this was great with these random characters. But we then see Shanks Kid is now squaring up. He's still squaring up with like a lot of these Shanks' fleet, right? But what happens is, I think it's next level Shanks wank. Oda loves him. You can't deny it, because Shanks has Kid dead to rights with his fleet. One would think. But Shanks says, yo, tell him to fall back. And they're like, yo, what do you say? We're not going to let them do anything to you. And he's like, yeah, I appreciate that, but fall back. And then as you go on in the chapter, you somewhat find out that Shanks' grand fleet isn't that grand at all.
They're weak,
like,
bro.
They're
These guys are
mid.
garbo. Like, he admits it.
Yeah, they're pretty
not
mid,
heated.
and they're like,
admit it.
yo, like what are they talking about? Like, why are our fleets notoriously weak? What is going on here, right? And they're like, yo, you're not supposed to say that out loud. Nobody knows about that. And so, for Shanks, it's so many layers to his character, I think, because we see this badass, right, that can just pull up on the Gorosei. But then we sees this guy that's literally allowing any and everyone to join his fleet, and he's just protecting them.
He's protecting the weak. That's what it is. It's crazy.
And so it's like Shanks can't be evil. Like even in this chapter with Kid, Shanks says, "Do you think he had enough time to heal, man?"
He was worried. What? He was worried about Kid's wounds. He was like, "Hey, man, did Big Mom do a lot of damage to him? Like, what's up?
Like, is he good?
Any brain damage on this man? Why is he fighting us?"
And so, here's the crazy part. Lucky Rude told Shanks to go back to bed. He said, "Yo, you can go back and watch Family Feud or whatever. We got this,
dude." The worst part is that when Lucky Roo says this, the man's eating and moving furniture around.
It's like they're not even concerned.
He's rearranging the couch, bro. Like,
they're just like, they're like, let's move this over here.
You got a guy in the background moving a barrel. You got Yasop smiling. I went through every panel. Nobody is worried. Everybody's smiling. They're having fun.
They weren't worried. They were not worried at all.
Goodness.
And Shanks is the only person that seems like mildly perturbed. You know what I mean? Like, he's like, yo, we shouldn't underestimate the growth of these guys. Which, in his mind, what he's thinking about?
What's up?
He's thinking of Luffy.
Yeah.
Right?
Even
he's
then,
thinking of Luffy.
At the end, after Yasop says that he's, healed up, he's like, I guess it's fine then. Whatever.
Right,
hey, what's up with Blackbeard, bro?
Right.
Like,
I'm like, we can get rid of him. It's fine then. I'm like, it's so casual and so badass. I'm like, this fucker, bro,
dude,
is so great.
He opened Twitter to find out news about Blackbeard during the Kid fight. I can't believe it.
Bro, exactly. Kid is pulling up. Kid is talking all this smack, and he's like, yo, by the way, like, did we hear about Blackbeard?
I'll only die if I lose.
Yeah, right. He's like yelling into the abyss, like, Kid. He sounds like Batman, the Dark Knight. Fight me!
And then Shanks is reading the newspaper. He's like, I'm looking through his Twitter history. He's kind of a bad guy.
Shanks is on his hammock, right?
Just casual, bro. He has a fan base literally hugging him as he walks up, like he's messy on the streets, bro.
Exactly,
I don't even know.
Bro. It's like, yo, it's fine. It's fine.
Crazy.
It's cool. It's cool. But I like the fact that Oda did confirm that that's the reason why Shanks went to Wano. And that Shanks is actively going after Blackbeard.
It's not film red promo.
Right. Promo, of course. But Shanks went preparing for the encounter.
What does it say about Blackbeard?
Blackbeard, I don't know if it means Blackbeard has luck on his side. Because right now, do you think the Red Hair Pirates can defeat the Blackbeard Pirates with Aokiji?
See, with Aokiji, I don't know. Like, it's hard because the Blackbeard that we see on screen, the goofy goober that's taking damage from Law, asking for help against Whitebeard, like the guy who's fighting Ace toe-to-toe, it's always so interesting because the fights that Blackbeard has, they always get cut off near the end, and then we skip to the finale.
Yeah.
Amazon Lily, the same way, sweating against a Seraphim, and then we cut over, boom, he's holding Boa Hancock by the throat. There's something to Blackbeard that we as an audience do not know, but Shanks knows firsthand. Like, that has to be it. Blackbeard has to be a menace, and we just don't know about it. If Shanks can one-tap people with a 3 billion berry bounty, and he's worried about Blackbeard, he's actually checking his Instagram stories, seeing his Snapchat location 24/7.
Exactly, all of
Blackbeard stock's going up.
There's something about him, because, again, Blackbeard gave Shanks his most prominent thing.
Oh, yeah,
scars,
the scar.
Right?
Literally on the Jolly Roger.
And so it's something that, for him, it's deep. Him and Blackbeard, this runs deep. And then that's why it's so meaningful when we go back and we look at the flashback with Roger and they see Shanks and Buggy. They're like, man, he didn't sleep. Like, this
guy's weird.
This guy is different, you know what I mean?
And then Shanks goes around warning people about Blackbeard, like, hey, like, Whitebeard, you gotta recall Ace, bro. Like, Blackbeard, he's something else. He was hiding under you.
like, Ace is strong. I heard about Ace.
I met him, but let me
I
tell
met
you,
him.
Blackbeard.
But no, right?
Yeah,
no, not yet.
And the crazy thing is that Shanks even says to Whitebeard, like, I did not let my guard down.
Right.
Like, Blackbeard is that guy.
The pride, man, pride.
Yeah,
it's a lot of pride, especially in Whitebeard's age. And I don't want to show up my son in front of technically an enemy, right? But it's so interesting that Shanks and his moves. At that point, you should understand Shanks is not really like on that type of time. The fact that he took the time out to come and warn you about something like this, especially with the fact that he's on Roger's crew as well. You think Whitebeard was drinking with him, right?
Oh, yeah.
Technically, but he did not heed his words. And I think he took it personal that Shanks, who is younger than some first commanders, right? I think younger than all of them.
I think. I don't really know Shanks' age off the top of my head, but I mean,
Shanks is
even if he's not
40,
younger, he's around their age.
So Shanks is, I want to say 39. Right?
He's doing good for 39. Let me tell you. When I'm 39, I want to be one tapping 3 billion bounty people.
So Shanks is 39 right now. Marco is 45, I believe. Katakuri is 49. I think King is like 47. Ben Beckman is like 50. He's younger than first commanders, right? So his accomplishments, based on his age, it is not normal, right?
No.
He is a prodigy for all intents and purposes. And he's coming to Whitebeard and saying, hey, by the way, you're, how old was Whitebeard? Was 72?
Yeah,
something like
yo,
that?
Blackbeard's a menace,
76? Yo, call your guy back.
And
he's not ready for this.
I think a lot of people forget, but the Blackbeard that Shanks was worried about didn't even have the Yami at that point.
He didn't have the Yami. He didn't have the Yami. This is Blackbeard just raw dogging.
Blackbeard gave Shanks the scar with nothing, dude. Actual just a man with a claw. That's all he is.
This is what he's worried about. So now with Blackbeard having the Yami and then going and acquiring Nagura, I'm sure Shanks is like, holy shit, man.
He's like rubbing his head. He lays awake at night, like rubbing his scar, like, oh man, this guy's getting stronger by the day.
Bro,
I gotta stop him.
Especially seeing how strong Shanks is. I'm like, yo.
Like, what does it say about Blackbeard? Because if I didn't know anything else about Blackbeard, I didn't know about any of the lore, build up, or plot around him, I would think that Blackbeard gets one tapped. But to Shanks,
think so, based
that's
on
like
his,
not the
his
case.
performances. Based on his performances against Old Sick Whitebeard, even against Ace, like Ace was getting hits in, Luffy got a hit in, Law got a hit in, like everybody he pretty much goes up against gets a hit in.
And then he always sweats against every opponent.
Just sweating.
Blackbeard
right?
perpetually sweats.
But what was great by the end of the Law interaction was that he managed to counter his awakening. Like, immediately.
He just stopped it and he smiled.
So I wonder if Blackbeard himself is a battle genius, where Luffy is as well. Like they're kind of two sides, but of the different sides of the same coin. Where what if Blackbeard is like a battle genius, that him taking attacks and taking damage is like
he
part
learns
of his
from it.
Yeah, like he learns and like grows based on it. It's like
I'm down with that.
Like an organism. That'd be crazy. But so Shanks, after worrying about Kid and finding out that Kid is okay, like he's, he got out of the ICU, he's fine. Kid actually does something that's impressive, right?
Yeah.
His damned punk,
I'd say it's impressive.
Even though generally people don't think damned punk is that impressive, it was about to eradicate several ships.
Yeah.
And not only that.
God forbid, padded toe Garrotini gets destroyed.
Right? It was about to eradicate pretty much the entire fleet, it seems like. But more than that, it was pulling the ships in.
Pulling it in, and also it shot multiple beams. When he used this against Big Mom, one beam. Here, at least 6 or 7.
So it seems like he's grown, right?
Yeah.
Over that span, when now he can fire multiple beams. And in the midst of time, like, even if you see Kid and you have intel on what he can do and you try to run away, you can't because it's pulling the ships in. And so, based on what Kid did, Shanks is like, that is actually impressive, right? Yeah. That's pretty decent.
He's about to do some crazy damage.
But before that, we see our boy use, I think one of my favorite abilities in One Piece, if not my favorite ability, Future Sight. And it has nothing to do with the fact that I'm a Katakuri stan at all. Nothing at all.
Yeah, nothing at all. Coincidence.
I love the fact that they confirmed Shanks has future sight, right? And for the most part, we've seen Luffy, Katakuri, Shanks, and Kaido use it. And so Shanks being at the pinnacle of hockey and him, it makes sense.
Yeah,
it makes sense for him to be right. That's it, right? It makes sense. But what's crazy, right, is that Shanks does this and he leaps.
He flies.
Right? He he has to move immediately. And he tells Dorian Broggie to get in position. And he immediately, before Kid could fire his blast, bro. So I'm wondering, what is the distance of future sight? Because Kid says, I'll take him down in 10 seconds flat.
Yeah.
Which, I don't know if Oda's telling us that Shanks can see 10 seconds into the future.
10 seconds.
That is a considerable gap.
We got a numerical value to this. 10 seconds into the future, jumping from the coast of Elbaf all the way to Kid. And mind you, from Kid's perspective, Shanks, Dory Broggie, Elbaf in general, the giant tree, everything to Kid is a silhouette. This guy can't even see him.
Exactly.
Insane.
Exactly. He based on where Kid is, he can't see Shanks. Look at Kid's ship in that panel, right? Look at Kid's ship and where it is in that panel. Shanks jumps. He leaps.
One squat, and it was GG. That's it.
And he was, bro. I don't think we've ever seen anything like this.
No, this is I would say this is the best feat we have gotten in the series. The strongest feat.
Okay. Do you think Shanks can teleport, bro?
I don't know.
It doesn't make sense.
I don't think he teleported. I mean,
bro,
it looks like he flew. Like his cape is fluttering.
Bro, but look at where he is. Look at where Kid's ship is. Shanks is nowhere nearby. His ship is nowhere nearby.
Man.
And Shanks jumps from his ship and he blitzes Kid so fast. Kid was like, whoa, red hair?
I gotta hit leg day, bro. That's it. If this chapter taught me anything, I gotta hit the squats more.
Divine departure. Boom. Kid explodes. But not only Kid. Killer tries to step in.
No. Killer tries to step in. Bro, where was Killer in that panel?
Killer tries to step in.
Where? Killer
and he
was
gets blasted as well.
Blasted. Speechless. Honestly, it's better if you say that Killer wasn't trying to help. Because Killer was nowhere inside during the divine departure.
They're saying that Killer, he got caught. I think what happened is that he probably noticed last minute as well. And so he saw Shanks and he's like, oh crap. He got hit by just the area of effect.
Yeah, area of effect damage. And the worst part was that he's trying to recreate what Zoro did, where Zoro blocked Kaido and Big Mom, but it just didn't work. He's not that guy.
No. You're not that guy. And then Shanks' face after the fact, just like
stoic, bro. Like no words. Even when the people are saying we surrender, don't kill our captain, take the poneglyphs, Shanks did not say a singular word.
No. But the thing is, like, he told Dorian Broggie to get in position. So it seems like, wait, did he see that coming? You know what I mean? Like, so for him, after he told Dorian Broggie to get in position, did he know that it was over for Kid and that the ship was going to get eradicated? That's why he told him to get in position.
All I got to say, if his future sight is so good, he can predict what Kid is doing 10 seconds in advance. His observation is good enough to assume that he can beat Kid in one hit. It has to be it.
Yeah. He saw what was going to happen.
He had the Dragon Ball Scouter on, and his power level was under 2,000. It was done.
And so for him, the only way Kid could stop something like this is by using his own observation haki to probably dodge the attack to change the future. Because the future, from what we know, is not It's not obsolete. It's not set in stone. You can change the future like Sanji did versus Katakuri.
Oh, yeah.
But Kid just doesn't have the facilities.
Dude, Kid, like, him not having that observation hockey is kind of baffling. And the worst part is that going into this chapter, going into the Kid and Shanks fight, my cope was that Kid had Conqueror's hockey that we never saw. I was like, yo, like, they're going to clash. The sky might split. Opportunity. Something might happen here. We didn't get anything. And then I remember last collab me and you had, we went through the Kid roster. We went through the pirate roster. They were like, yo, hip hop, boogie, UK pump. Like, these dudes are going to show out. If Law's crew showed out, these guys are going to step up to the plate.
All we got knocked out from Shanks' Conqueror's hockey when he swung.
Yeah. All we got was, I don't even know his name anymore. Boogie or UK, whoever the hell this is.
Boogie.
Bro, he threw his hand up and he said, please stop. Don't worry, Brocky. Oh,
wait.
God.
I think that was... Is that Wire?
Dude, it doesn't even matter anymore, bro. It doesn't even matter.
He did that. Yo. Oda, okay.
I think we did too much by remembering these names.
We did.
We did too much homework. The test was, 10 questions. We studied for 100.
And listen, Heat and Wire didn't even get an attack off, bro.
They didn't do anything. An
attack. Yo, Shanks' entire crew didn't do it. It was just Shanks.
That's the worst part. Kid didn't even run the gauntlet, bro.
Yo, Kid is kind of in the Vegeta role a little bit at this point, where what Luffy can do, you can't, right? Because we had a similar situation with Luffy and Sabaody, right?
Yeah.
But even in that situation, it was a fake out. That situation was
it was a fake out. He had allies on his side,
right? To get him stronger.
Bro, the Straw Hats tried to fight that situation. Even though Brook wasn't landing any attacks, he tried. Even though Chopper couldn't do anything, he went Monster Point. Bro, what can we take away from this for Heat, Wire, Boogie, Pop UK, Hip Hop, Funk, Gotta Go? Like, these guys did nothing. They begged for their lives. And they made fun of Sanji for this back in Wano.
Listen, bro. I'm about to start the agenda or the propaganda at least.
He doesn't
Shanks
like
Can Teleport. Because
Shanks Can Teleport? Oh, yeah. There's got to be something
we
there.
haven't seen something like this from someone like Kizaru. Like we saw the X Drake kick, right?
Yeah.
But the distance that Shanks closed, like with no devil fruit, it's mind-boggling. And for me, I'm thinking back to the Green Bull situation now where I'm like, did Green Bull see this coming? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I don't blame Green Bull for leaving anymore. You know what? He made the right decision.
Because even if he managed to block an attack from Shanks, it's this onslaught. It seems like it's not something you want to get in the middle of. Like, it's like you want to avoid Shanks as much as possible. And that's just Shanks. And it seems like his crew is like aware of just how devastating he can be because they're just so unbothered. But man, I already had Shanks top 1. But the Shanks stocks,
he's top 0.
I didn't think they could go higher, but they went up today.
He's top 0. And the thing with your teleportation thing isn't just this chapter, but in general, even Sengoku mentioned, like, how did Shanks get here? He was just fighting Kaido the other day, back when Marineford was happening. So Shanks has some weird light speed.
Some weird ability.
Going on.
Weird ability. He has a weird ability because maybe Green Bull has intel on Shanks. That's why when Shanks was off the coast, he was like, all right, I can feel this Conqueror's hockey. He can probably get
Shanks
to me. You know what I mean?
Might as well be tapping on Green Bull's shoulder when he sent that Conqueror's hockey to him.
Exactly, right behind him.
Yeah, just
right
behind him. Just tapping right there. It's
He's
done.
like, yo, you might not want to do that play, boy. Like, that's literally what he's saying in his ear. And Green Bull was like, all right, you know what, you got me.
The worst
I'm
part,
just gonna leave.
Minus Kid and Killer, bro. Kid's crew got Little Garden diffed by Dorian Brocky.
Golly.
Oh,
nobody
goodness.
even. And the crazy thing is like how they brought the Poneglyphs to Shanks was like, yo,
it's embarrassing.
Don't do anything. Just take our Poneglyphs. This is all we got, man.
How many Poneglyphs do you think that is? 3? 2?
Looks like 3.
I think 3.
Wait. It
looks like 3. I mean, obviously, it's hard to tell until the viz comes out.
It looks like if we look at it, you can count 4.
Yeah.
But it has to be 3.
I feel like it's 3. So they got Zoe, Whole Cake Island, Wano. Like, he's speed running this, bro.
Yeah.
He just needs one more.
Shanks now has 3 Poneglyphs.
Shanks, possibly Blackbeard, Luffy, Yeah, they narrowed that competition fast.
You know what this is like?
What?
This is like you getting 6 gym badges and then
just losing all of it, deleting the save.
You.
Dude,
I'll just take all
at this point, for Kid, what does he do? Let's say Kid gets back up, right? Somebody saves him. He's out of the water. He's alive. His crew is somehow fine. He finds another ship. What do? Do you go back to Zoe? Do you go back to Whole Cake Island? Or do you go home and start, fucking carving sweaters? Like, I have no clue.
Just go to an island and build an organization, call yourself Mr. Zero, because I think there's not much here for you. Or like go open a sea restaurant or something.
People started calling him the Gecko Moria of this era. People are calling Kid Gecko Moria. That's how bad he got beaten.
You think Kid is going to tell his kids, like, he was competing with Red Hair Shanks and...
I clashed with Shanks, guys. You don't understand.
Listen
to me, boy.
I competed with Trafalgar Law. I competed with Monkey D. Luffy. I fought those guys, man.
Monkey D. Luffy,
like,
the Pirate
that's
King?
Not what we hear.
He was a rookie when I was around. He was nothing.
That's not what we hear, Dad. And it's like, yo, you see these hands? There's a reason why they're both metal, okay? You see this scar on my chest? That was from Red Hair Shanks himself.
I survived that attack. Let me tell you.
Oh my God. And Killer just laughing in the background.
he can't cry. He's trying to cry, but he's just laughing.
That's so fucked,
dude, it's
bro.
so bad that...
I felt bad for them at the end of the chapter.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's so bad that Killer can't even laugh. Like, if you look closely, Killer's frowning on the floor. Like, he got whooped so bad his smile devil fruit reverted.
Oh my God.
Shanks knocked the devil fruit out of this man.
He one-shot Kid.
Kid and Killer. Like, it was 2-in-1. This guy was at a Best Buy special.
A 2-for-1 special. You can have it. This is Shanks. This is insane, unfathomable. That's why he's that guy.
We love to see it. 25 years of build-up for this moment.
And I think it was worth it.
Oh, yeah.
I think it was worth it. Absolutely worth it. But man, Sai, any last words, closing thoughts on this chapter?
Shanks is a hockey man, Mihawk is a swordsman.
Oh. That's another intense conversation.
That's a whole other, bucket we don't want to open. But let's just say, at the very least, if Blackbeard stocks go up because of this, I think Mihawk stocks go up a little bit. All I gotta say.
I agree because Shanks did this with his sword, by the way.
You're telling me this wasn't a hockey blast?
He did this with his sword, by the way. And even if he did this with a sword to Mihawk, story canon facts tells us
they clashed. Mihawk
they would
clashed
clash,
with
and
this.
Mihawk would be fine. And so,
what did Whitebeard say? The duels between Shanks and Mihawk were legendary. I understand why. I mean, if Mihawk was competing with this, whether he was winning or losing, the fact that he could keep up with the speed blitz, the teleportation Shanks, it's something. It's something.
He is. Shanks is special. Shanks is special, and the fact that someone of this caliber, right? Because it makes so much more sense now. Remember when he came back, like we was talking about with Mihawk? Whitebeard said, everyone was surprised when someone like you came back from the East Blue.
Someone with 10 seconds of future sight, bro. Like you got starred?
Everyone was shocked. And for someone like Shanks, right, to give his arm for Luffy.
That says something. He's betting on the new era. This is what Luffy has to surpass by the end of the story. Imagine that. Like, Luffy, end of story, one-tapping Kid right here. Replace Shanks with Luffy. This should be Luffy too. End of story, of course. Not like right now, but later.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, it's insane. Amazing chapter.
Ooh.
Oda gave us a great break week chapter.
2 out of 10.
I can't wait to come back. I can't wait to the next chapter where we come back and it's do we go to Egghead and focus on like what the Blackbeard pirates are doing?
Are the red-haired pirates still going to be moving furniture? Who knows?
You know what I'm saying? Did it finally move the furniture that they're moving on the ship? Find out next time, right? It's insanity. Shanks's top one in my mind. But Sai, appreciate you joining me,
Always, man. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, guys. Sai's channel will be in the description, in the title. Always a great time. Go check out Sai. Sai does a great job covering the One Piece spoilers.
You can find my channel at B.D.A. Law. Just type it in on YouTube.
Exactly,
you got
right
it.
there. He does a good job at not spoiling as well. So,
I try.
you know, if you don't like, if you want to, like, you know, dibble and dabble with spoilers, but, you know, you're not sure if you have the balls, so you can still check out Sai. But, of course, like and subscribe, all that, and we'll catch you guys in the next one.
Peace out.
Peace out.